Hey guys, Brian from Boas here. Well, we're getting close to the end of the 2025 baby boa birthing season, and I actually had a litter a few days ago. I didn't have time to film the processing of the litter as I try to do sometimes, since I was quite busy, and it was actually late at night when I discovered this. But a really nice litter of Crawl Key Dwarf Boas. Got a dozen babies here. You can see they're kind of squirming around. I tried to put them on top of the paper towels for the filming, but most of them were heading under the paper towels where they normally hide. But they were born close to a week ago now, actually. It's been a really busy week. And they've basically just been sitting in this big pile on top of the heat mat, which is set to maintain 90 degrees. They'll probably shed in a few days. But a really nice litter of a dozen babies. And you know, one of my favorite dwarf boas, these Crawl Key Dwarf Boas from a small island off the coast of Belize. There's a closer look. You can see they have this beautiful silvery gray coloration. They'll be a lot brighter after they shed. But these are similar to the Crawl Key Dwarf Boas, except they're in general a little bit lighter, and the patterns are a little bit more variable, with sometimes with striping and aberrancies. There's some more of these cute little baby boas. There was an even dozen in the litter. Always nice to have a dozen boas, and interestingly, about half of my litters this year seem to have exactly a dozen boas, which is kind of cool. You know, a dozen is always a good number. And real nice litter. I think there was one stillborn, unfortunately, but no slugs. And this is a second time litter for the mother who was born here. She was born here back in 2017. I had to stop the recording and check her cage card just to make sure. You can see the heat mat right underneath where the paper towel's pulled away. But I just, as you probably know if you watch my videos, I just keep my babies in these 14-gallon Sterilite tubs for about a week and a few days after they're born, and until they shed, and then I put them in their separate tubs. And they seem to have benefit from sticking together. I think it's safety in numbers. It makes them feel safe, because if they were in the wild, they would form a big pile like this, and then if a predator caught one or two of them, the rest would be able to get away. At least I think that's what's going on here. And these Crawl Keys are one of the three types of dwarf boas that I work with. The others are, of course, the Cocker Key and the Tarahumara mountain boa. And I just love these dwarf boas because they offer you a lot of the boa constrictor experience, actually all the boa constrictor experience, in a much smaller animal that's maybe a little bit more manageable. These guys don't get any bigger than a ball python or like a corn snake, something like that, up to around 4 to 5 feet. So if you thought a boa constrictor was too big for you, definitely check out these dwarf boas. Typically I'll see some striping on some of these animals. I just actually look to try to find one, and most of them look like they have pretty regular saddles. Some of them are a little bit aberrant looking, but that might be due to the pairing. This is a different pairing from my 2024 pairing. The 2024 pairing was a female, that one of my oldest boas that came from Gus Renfro, and then a male from Michael Beach. This pairing was a whole back pair born in 2017. So they might just be a little different. In fact, those two adults aren't really that striped, so it's not that surprising that I don't see too many stripes in this litter. Overall, it's been a really great season. Had quite a few really nice litters so far. This, I think, is the second to last. Hopefully it's not my last. I have one more female, Suriname, who is definitely gravid, and she's due probably in a couple of weeks, probably sometime in early to mid-August. And I got high expectations, high hopes for her, so hopefully it won't be disappointing. But this Crawl Key is definitely a nice litter, and it's definitely been a good season overall. I have actually added some of the babies that were born so far to my Flickr page. If you want to check them out, you can see the link under the video description. but I added some Tarahumara and some Coups Pastels. I also have 2 different litters of Suriname Redtails up there, and I've got some, I think I still have some of the Branchia left. Really nice Branchia Columbia Boa. So check those out. Also some VPI combos if you're into the morphs. So a lot of really nice boas available right now if you go to my Flickr page. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at cleowolf@yahoo.com. That's also under the video description. These guys will probably be for sale in another month and a half to 2 months. Just got to get them feeding and established. Hopefully it'll still be warm enough to ship. Winter's coming pretty soon. We're still in the heat waves of summer are limiting my shipping. There's going to be a few months of ideal shipping weather from like September through like early December, and then it's going to get too cold. So that's just the life of a boa breeder. You have to ship when you can, when it's not too hot or cold. But have a look, and they'll be up in a couple months. And I think I sold actually all of my crowd keys from 2024. Had a few that stayed with me, or I still have them. I haven't shipped them yet, but a few that were unsold as of about a month ago. But they've all, I think I might have one left actually, one female from 2024. But I just have these 2025 babies that'll be ready to go in a couple months. Anyway, hope you enjoyed looking at these baby qual key boas. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your boas.